So my hope for the channel is to do a lot of Buffy lore, Buffy theory videos in what ifs. But, I am a fan at the end of the day. Although I am more of an Angel guy than Buffy person, I do appreciate and love what Buffy did in many ways. But it definitely had its weak side. And we'll get to that in terms of should they bring Spike back in? Because I think he's coming. So how do I know this? No, it's no guarantee. And she didn't slip anything, but Chloe Zhao was asked. And let me just get the Buffy updates out of the way. So she's committed to directing one episode, the pilot, and apparently that will be it. The rest of the series will be different directors. She wanted Chloe to do the whole season. That ain't going to happen. But anyway, so Chloe was promoting her new film. They asked her about, of course, Buffy, and they asked her that question, who do you go with? And she's like, well, Spike. But then she did a caveat. She would pick Spike and Buffy in her basically young years, being a teenager and in her 20s. But now that she's gotten much older, and she does acknowledge Angel, but she doesn't pick Angel either. So people will probably laugh, because again, when I saw the initial interview, I was like, oh, okay, we're going with Angel. No! I saw the full quote, guys, and she's like, Riley. She's on Team Riley, being a more mature woman, right? In other words, I guess, when you care about the hot, passionate stuff, yes, Buffy looks fine, but then, there were problems, to put it mildly. And Angel also had problems. But Riley is a better choice, being more mature. And there we go. And it's funny, there's a thing with SMG, with Sarah, where she was asked and she did the whole, who would you marry, who would you F, and that kind of thing. And Angel got the marriage. So she chooses Angel, and Spike is just there for, well, frankly, the sex. I think there's a third choice. I forget who she picked. I don't think Riley showed up. I think she forgot. So, yeah, that's one of the most weird things when discussing ranking the seasons, ranking characters. Riley has usually been on the rock bottom. He's sort of been the Jar Jar plague of the Buffy universe, that he is one of the most hated, reviled characters. Now, it is cooling off, right? I'd have to say he's doing a lot better than Jar Jar, although the Jar Jar hatred has also kind of declined as well. A lot of people, including myself, are like, no, he wasn't that good in Phantom Menace. He just did not fit most of Phantom Menace, but it is what it is. And I think people have to understand that there's really two problems here, right? And again, I'm not going to spoil anything with season 4. I'm just going to be very broad. That I wouldn't say he made me quit season 4, but he created too many puzzles. So I was watching season 4, again, like really fun. Like, okay, I'm going to give Buffy a chance. And I kind of stopped watching it. And then I tried getting back in, and I'm like, this doesn't look good. And then I tried Angel, and that was great, and that was fine. So the problem with season 4, even before we get to Riley, is you have to know a lot of Buffy. So it is not welcoming to new people. So I chose the wrong season to jump in, because it is just really hard to make sense of a lot of Buffy season 4, unless you've seen at least a few key episodes. That's just their problem. However, I think Mark did not help. Right. Now, Mark is today a good actor, but you could tell they just threw the baby in at the deep end of the pool and like, okay, let's see how you do. And his acting was really barely competent. Like, barely competent. I mean, if you have memories of season 4 back then, you'll remember that he was not even a series regular, and out of nowhere, they have little, the little clips of everyone, the main characters and the main actors, and it's like, wait, Riley's a main actor now? When did this happen? Right? And the real story is Seth left. Seth Green wanted to leave. He had a lot of frustrations with the show, doing Austin Powers, so he left. There was a vacuum, and they're like, hey, let's pick Mark. And I'll give Marty Noxon this. He was pretty straight up. Why? Because he's a fantasy. He's this big, buff guy. He looks good. He's very tall. So physically, he met the demands of these female fantasies, which is fine. I'm not clutching my pearls there. However, basically, that's the main go-to with Riley, was he's physically very fit. He can't really act. So when he's acting with Sarah, it just feels really off. Like, he's really on point, and he looks like totally out of it. And to be fair, what they had him do in season 4 was ridiculous. Like, his mood swings or all over the place. And if you're a great actor, you can do that. But if you're just starting out, like being a very beginning actor, it's going to look ridiculous because you really don't have the acting skills to do that. James Marsters can do that, but not Mark at that point. So it just looked really ridiculous. Like it's like you're not that good an actor. Why are you playing this character? Why are you taking your shirt off the time? So it just created a lot of tonal problems for season 4. But I defend season 4. But yeah, the Riley stuff, even beyond you don't like the character, it's like you just didn't believe him, right? And I'm not even going to get into season 5. But needless to say, his presence in the Buffyverse is overall pretty minor, which is shocking given that he became Buffy's lover for pretty long amount of time. But his actual presence in the show's mythology is pretty small. Pretty small. So now let's get to the poster. It's not clickbait. This is a real poster, but I would judge it to be fan made. It does look impressive, but there's certain telltale signs. This is not for the new show. For one thing, good or bad, they are canonically going to say it's New Sunnydale. This poster does not have that, but I'm not here to just make fun of the fans and AI or new attempts to do fanfic, because I've seen recently a lot of the attempts to do Buffy season 8, and again, I'm going to show a little bit of those things, but I have to be very careful not to spoil too much of the later show. And even some Spike ones, and they didn't look bad. The problem is, like, the people they're picking and the cast they're picking and the characters really make sense only with the end of Buffy, right? And the end of Angel. And I think that's going to be a real shocker when we do get this version of Buffy. Like, I would put even money that they're going to do this. They're going to have Angel and Spike in dream sequences for season 1. And at the very, very end, we're probably going to get cameos in the final episode with Angel and Spike physically, like in quote, the real world or wherever they are. But the new buffet will be mainly Buffy and the new people. And it looks like the way I'm seeing it, that the main character, the new quote Slayer, will basically be kind of like if Willow became a Slayer, right? A more kind of a geeky, nerdy teen girl. And whoa, what if Willow type came? Buffy. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. And Buffy will be filling in the role of Giles, and she'll be the mentor figure. Right, but the problem is, where would Spike fit in all this? I don't know. It just would really not work anymore. A major point of the show, again, this is a minor spoiler, I don't think it really affects anything at the end of the day because it was abandoned, but destroying the old Sunnydale, like physically destroying the old Sunnydale, was important to the Spike story. And so now bringing just a new version of Sunnydale back kind of diminishes what he was doing on Buffy and Angel. So any reintroduction of Spike will be kind of awkward, right? Are they going to not acknowledge the new Sunnydale? Or how Spike and Molly did not have a good time in the old Sunnydale? It'll just be a little bit off, right? It'll be a little bit off. And it's not just Spike, but I'm looking at Faith as well. And Eliza in her recent photos looks so different from classic Faith, right? And there's nothing announcing or implying she's going to be part of this new show. So it just seems like if some of these older characters, Faith, Spike, and Angel, do return, it will be in a capacity that is very weird or odd or incongruent with the old series. And most fans don't really like seasons 6 and 7. However, they do offer kind of a bridge for Spike to come back. Whereas if they're going to just recreate the mythology, what will Spike be? Right? Because we've only known Joss's version of Spike. So I hope they're able to crack the formula. And some of these fan trailers are really interesting and exciting, but they only make sense if this is going to be Buffy season 8, which I don't think they're going to do or even try. It's going to be Buffy new series, right? Even if it does have the elements of the old, it is Buffy new series. And we've never technically had that. We've had a spinoff, we had continuation, right? Angel worked concurrently with Buffy, right? It was still tied to Buffy. We're in whole new territory. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but I don't know. It'll definitely be weird. It'll definitely be weird. I guess the other question is it going to be good weird or bad weird? And I'm pessimistic, so I think it could be bad weird. But there you go. Maybe bad weird Spike will be better. We'll have to wait and see.